feelings, friend or foe? How do we develop emotional intelligence and be at ease with our feelings that can open us deeper into our true nature and into real connection with life and each other? How do you relate to your feelings? Most people have a really difficult time with their feelings, with their emotions that keep rising up, whether it's fear, whether it's pain, whether it's joy or enthusiasm or sadness. Society often tells us, and also spirituality, that your negative feelings shouldn't be there, or you should transform them, or you should hide them in a cellar. Pretend that you're always fine, you're always happy and blissful. Well, what does that create for us? It's a war. You either fight your negative feelings and try to cut them out, like you want to cut off your nose. But it's human. You have a nose, and so you have feelings. And you have feelings that are like the seasons of the weather, or the anger is the storm. Your tears are the rain that feeds the earth. Your smile is the sunshine. If we only have sunshine, we burn up. If we only indulge in sadness, then we have floods. So the other one that we get told from early on, because people have such a hard time dealing with emotions, is suppress. Suppressing, as you probably know, leads to depression. Suppression is depression. You put a lid on all those uncomfortable feelings. You say, I don't feel this anger. And you cut off, you numb out. But what you're also doing then, you won't have any joy anymore. You can't cut out one without cutting out the other. You can't put a lid on one and then think you have easily available the joy. It's not working that way. And there's the other extreme of people who don't suppress. They just express. And because they cannot be present with their feelings either, they dump it out on others. So the anger gets lashed out on your partner. Or we have so much rage that we take a gun and shoot the other. Now, I'm sure you're not going to do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't even listen to this video. But you get the gist of it. Yeah. So neither suppression nor expressing it constantly out there will help. These are ways how we have learned to relate to our feelings, or better, not to relate to our feelings. It's a very unskillful way, and it causes a lot of suffering in our relationships, at work. It destroys our lives sometimes because we try to get away so badly from maybe some unresolved trauma and pain that some people take drugs to soothe themselves, to make it go away, to not feel it anymore, to numb out, to feel something better. So what we try to do so often is get away from what's uncomfortable and go towards what's comfortable, understandable. However, your feelings are there. They're like the waves on the ocean. The ocean doesn't say, well, this wave is allowed and this wave isn't. The joy is allowed and the pain isn't. No, you are that space of the ocean. You are that loving presence. through which all the waves, all the different feelings can flow through. Emotion is in motion. However, if we resist a feeling and we block it, what starts happening is we get stuck, and then we feel stuck in life. And it doesn't matter what you do or how much excitement you try to produce, you're stuck. You're stuck because you're not allowing a certain feeling. And usually these are feelings that are rather uncomfortable. So to get unstuck, simple, feel. Now, here's the deal. It requires for us to view our feelings in a different way and to learn to relate to them in a skillful, loving, and present way. Because then we get to feel fully alive. We feel present. We experience real connection with others and with life. Our heart is open then, and we know truth deep down. And when you get the knack of it, what starts happening is your feelings become an entryway into your nature. So when you really are present with the anger and go all the way, you find truth, you find power. If you truly be with and relate to your sorrow, you find compassion. In the fear, you discover strength. The energy it's an energy, and it carries the divine within. It carries the original nature of life within. It's like the wave that carries the ocean. It's the drop of water in which the ocean is reflected. So now I don't want to go too much into the conceptual realm. I want to make this really practical so that you can apply it. And so again, remember this. We want to view our relationship, our feelings differently. So for a moment, stop dividing feelings into negative and positive. Stop trying to transform your anger. Stop trying to heal your pain. Stop trying to change your feelings. For a moment, view them simply as energy, different colors in the scheme of things. Yeah, there's the black, there's the white, there's the yellow, there's the green, and everything in between. They're the bouquet of your life. Yeah? So when you drop that dualistic view of negative and positive, you may notice that you're already more freed up. Then apply curiosity. Just get curious. What is it that I'm feeling right now? Just ask yourself in this moment, what am I actually feeling? Maybe it's calmness, maybe it's curiosity. And then refrain from getting stuck in the story. I feel sad because my partner left. Yeah, that's the story, and there's a truth to it, and it has to be honored. However, at this moment, we're going to go a little deeper. So refrain from engaging further in the story and go directly towards the feeling that you're feeling in this moment. So you might feel sad, or you might feel something different. Allow that to be there, because it is already there. For a moment, don't engage in fighting it, avoiding it, trying to get away from it. For a moment, just allow what is already here. You don't need to try to allow. it is already here. Your feelings are there. Use curiosity and just notice what you feel in this moment. Not what you should feel or have felt yesterday or what you want to feel, but what you feel. Simple. Then name it to yourself. I feel sad, or I feel happy. And then use the approach of you, the space you are, who you are really, is the loving presence, is the hostess, is the landlord in your house. Which means your feelings are your guests. Some guests want to stay forever. Some guests, they come by and when the party is over, they leave. Some guests, like grief, tends to hide in the cellar. Some fears, they sit in the closet. Sometimes the guest of fury takes over your house. You are the hostess. You are the landlord. Which means you invite every guest to the table. You give each a place to be seated at life's feast. So there's a chair for Mr. Anger. There is a chair for Mrs. Fear. Doubt, pain. And you are the one who offers the food. Which means the food for each feeling is you acknowledge each guest. Hello, anger. Hello, fear. Hello, joy. Welcome. It's not about that you like or don't like the guest. You just make each person, each guest actually is like a person, feel welcome at the table. And then the next step is really learning to meet each feeling. Yeah? Because each feeling is calling out for you, for your presence, for being met, for being seen, heard, and for being loved. Well, how in the world are you going to do this? This is where it's very helpful when you have an awareness practice or a mindfulness practice or a deep spiritual practice to remember you are bigger than your feelings. You have feelings, but you're not them. Or you remember, what sometimes really helps is remember you're the mother. For those of you who are parents, this might be easy. You're the mother or the father, and your children are the feelings. Each one you sit down at the table. And to each, you turn, especially those who are very insistent. What they're calling out for is your attention. Yeah? They're not calling out for you to take a club and hit them over the head and say, shut up. They're also not calling out for you to shove them under the table. So avoid any violence. We are very violent with ourselves. And simply begin with an easy feeling, like turn to the joy, the tinge of joy inside of you. Okay, you can do this in this moment with any feeling that is present. And what you do is you breathe. You breathe to this feeling. It's like your breath is saying hello. Hi. I am here with you. I acknowledge you. So just do this with me if you want to. Just hold that attitude. And then actually go directly to the sensation that this feeling evokes in your body. So it might mean you feel the jitters in your belly. when you greet Mrs. Fear. So you give it some breath. Breathe out to the mouth is very helpful. Not to make that feeling go away, but to give it the one thing that it doesn't have, which is your presence and breath. That's simple to do if you focus on the sensation in your body. Your anger might be in that solar plexus area, or your pain might be in the chest, heart area. And just breathe into it. Hello, anger. Or hello, joy. I am here. And notice what happens. Notice what happens when you touch the feeling with your presence, with your breath, and your kindness. You might notice that you feel a little bit more settled. Maybe not. And then I actually recommend highly that you allow yourself to get more present on the chair where you're sitting, feeling the earth that holds you below. And if you experience resistance, just note that to yourself. There's really nothing wrong with that. Just notice where the resistance sits. Name it to yourself. Breathe into it. I'm here for the resistance too. Underneath resistance is fear. So somebody is hiding behind that wall. And that somebody actually wants to be met. Then allow yourself to feel the feeling. Just, it's not going to kill you. I know this sounds funny when I say it, but in the mind, we have a button that says emergency. We have to call the ambulance when there are strong feelings arising. Because we get overwhelmed, we don't know how to handle them. And as children, we've maybe had nobody who was there with us or walked us through. So for the mind, this is an emergency. So just notice, just remind yourself, no feeling has ever killed anybody. I've never read in a newspaper, he died of feeling too much. No, people die when they can't relate. And it manifests in the body, it manifests in their behavior, it manifests in all sorts of unhealthy ways when they don't relate to their feelings. So just feel into this. What is here? And the only question is really, what am I experiencing right now? What am I feeling right now? And come back to the breath. Touch the feeling within the body sensation. Go to the body. Because that you can handle. And sensation is easy to handle. A big, huge feeling that's all over the place, you can't handle. And breathe into that sensation. And begin to notice how this feeling feels. Just feel. Just feel. All the while staying present. All the while breathing. Relax into the feeling. Welcome it. And allow it to move however it wants to move. So maybe the sadness is moving up to your throat and the tears are flowing. Soften and allow this. Relax with the feeling. Maybe the anger is rising in your belly. Let it rise. Breathe into it. It will get for a moment really intense. Open, and then let it move. Maybe it wants to move through your arms or your legs. Maybe it wants to pound. Maybe there's a sound that wants to come. Right now, we're not going so deep into it. This would be a very different session. But just so that you get the knack of it, that you can actually allow your feelings to move. If they don't want to move, that's fine too. The most important is that you learn to be present with them. Because when you do, then no matter what happens in life, you're not thrown overboard just because you feel something. And you don't need to use all your energy to suppress your feelings. And then you get depressed. So all we're doing is right now to establish a new relationship. And consider for a moment that these feelings are your friends. Even the uncomfortable ones. As you allow, if you really want to continue with this, just allow them to move and notice what else emerges as you do. You might fall into the power underneath the anger. You might experience that when you allow the pain to move all the way through and be received and met with loving presence. But something opens inside that is so beautiful that leads you into greater love and aliveness and presence, you. And the more at ease you become with this, the more at ease you will be in all your relationships, because you're not engaging anymore in this war and battle and resistance and using all your energy to defend and attack. Because we only attack and defend when we feel threatened. And threatened means I'm afraid to feel what I'm feeling. And of course, if somebody comes with a gun at you, it's a little bit of a different story. You're not going to stand there and go through your fears. You're going to act, you're going to run or take the gun, whatever you need to do. But I'm not talking about real danger. I'm talking about the danger that we have in our minds, that feelings are foes and enemy and dangers. They're not. Even if they're uncomfortable, they lead you home. They lead you into true connection, into real relating, and they lead you into freedom. Not from, but with. The freedom to be the ocean and let the waves move through, and even delight in them. Thank you. And I'm Nicola Madura. I work as a spiritual teacher, a Hakomi therapist, and I lead a lot of trainings in leadership and relationship. You can reach me via nicolamadura.com for personal sessions or attendance for retreats and trainings. Thank you for sticking it out. I hope you didn't get lost in the sea. And thank you for being you.